Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am Hades from Wall Street Bible, and this is going to be my analysis video on SPY from 381. As we can see here, the bottom is 381, all the way up to 385, which is where we ultimately rejected at. So yeah, we're going to be going in depth on why I saw this move, how I saw it, and what I looked for and what I saw. So let's get it. Alright, so the first thing I saw, I'm going to actually pull it up here. So if you were in the chat at around, so basically 10 minutes before power hour, on my time it's 11:50 a.m., but I'm on Pacific Standard, so 10 minutes before power hour, the last hour of the market, I sent this chart out, right? Like 10, 15, or actually it was 30 minutes before power hour, I sent this chart, right? The first thing I was looking at was SPY inverse head and shoulders. You can see here we have, let me show you on the actual chart. We have here the left shoulder. Then down here we have the head of the inverse head and shoulder, and on the right we have the right shoulder. But yeah, so first I sent this out, and I said SPY. And a possible move on SPY. I said possible just because it was chopping the whole day. We had a trend line right here that could ultimately reject. We also had this big resistance, which is a SPY pre-market low, 382.5. So I said possible move in the chat, right? Possible move. We got inverse head and shoulders. Now, let me show you guys. So that was the first thing I was watching. I was watching SPY. It failed to make a lower low, and it held the previous, or it held support pretty much, previous support. So once a stock does not make a lower low and it actually makes a higher high, after it already made a low, made another low, but then it held on the previous low, that's a nice indication that it's a bullish indication. It's a bullish move, pretty much, an inverse head and shoulders. After that, SPY actually broke all the way up to 382.5. Let me show you guys. Let me get another screenshot actually. So we're gonna go right here. Then, so now we have this move, right? Ultimately, SPY went to 382.5, right? The inverse head and shoulder played out. We have the left shoulder here, the head here, and then the right shoulder, and it pumped. So that played out. That was the first move I saw, was the inverse head and shoulder on SPY from 381 all the way up to 382.5. So we're at 382.5, right? Here, I was telling people in the chat, I said, is it gonna hold or is it gonna reject here? We're gonna have to find out and see. And as you can see on the bottom, we also have rising volume. I know it's kind of hard to see with the green over the green, but this is rising volume as it's going to a resistance point. But I said it has to hold above if we're going to see any continuation, or any just possible moves to the upside. We have to hold above this pre-market low, which is 382.5. And I couldn't stress that enough. I kept telling them it has to hold above. The volume was great, right? The volume was great, but it has to hold above. And then what do we see after? Well, let me show you guys again. Let me pull up the next screenshot. This is all real-time market time, right? All these screenshots I'm showing you is real time as the market is moving. The market is not closed on these screenshots. So that's why I'm showing you screenshots instead of just the actual chart, because I want you guys to see what I was seeing in real time, which made me, believe SPY was going to go all the way to 385. And I'll keep showing you guys why. So now, we're on this next step, right? We're still in the inverse head and shoulders. I would say the high was up here, right? This is what we had to break to keep going. I don't know exactly what that was, but let me check on SPY right now. So I'm talking about this spot right here. So SPY had to basically go above 380. I'll actually draw a line right there. Look, SPY had to go and hold above 383.5. We'll just call it 0.5. So now, let me actually show you the next screenshot and go back to what I was talking about. So look, SPY inverse head and shoulder ultimately broke out, and we still have a lot of volume. The volume is key. I cannot stress that enough. Volume is key. So we still have. Sorry about that. We still have Sorry. Like I said, we still have rising volume, right? Still have rising volume, and we broke through VWAP with rising volume. VWAP is also another indicator that will tell you if a stock is bearish or bullish. Pretty much simple terms, if a stock is trading below VWAP, it is bearish. If it's trading above VWAP, it is bullish. Right here, it literally broke through VWAP like it was nothing with rising volume still. So yeah, so this is all real time, like I was saying. It had a hold above 382.5, and it pretty much did. Let me show you guys the next screenshot. You can also go back in the chat and read all the everything I was sending out, everything that I was saying. Let's see, let me show you guys another thing. Alright, let me show you guys this. I actually want to show you guys this. Let me show you guys this. Look what I said here. This is 12:06 p.m. So this is 6 minutes after power hour. This is PST. So if I were on East Coast time, it'd be 3:06 p.m. So we still have we roughly have 55 minutes on the market, right? We have 1 hour to go. I said 382.5 is a nice stop if you're going to take. I was talking to one of our members. If they're going to take calls, 382.5 is a nice stop. That's the pre-market low. I cannot stress that enough. Pre-market low, that is your best friend if you're going to take any bounce plays or any calls, pretty much. So I said it has to hold the pre-market low, and then right after that, if it doesn't hold, we're right back where we were. And what I meant by that was right back where we were. It was SPY just chopping in this range from 382.5 to 381, pretty much. I said if it did not hold above here, it was just gonna come back down and just keep doing what it was doing. Right now, we're still on hold on. Oh, and then the next thing I said, look, I'm analyzing SPY as it's literally moving. So I'm sending these messages real time as I'm watching SPY and I'm analyzing it. Look, oh, and this is another thing. Let me show you guys this. Look. So not to put our members on blast, but I don't ever want to do that, but I want to show you guys. I told him the stop was 382.5, right? He said it hit 382.5 though, but I told him you gotta wait for the candle to close. You can't get out right when it hits, so you gotta wait for the candle to close. And I told him it's trying to hold. I told him you see it wicking off that level. I'll show you guys what I was talking about right now, but pay attention to this. You see it wicking off that level. And then right after the candle actually closed, the 5-minute candle, I said it closed right above it, give it a couple more candles. And then I said right after that, I said SPY could be forming a huge ABCD pattern, and keep a big eye on, or just remember this, pretty much just remember this huge ABC pattern, right? And wicking off this level. So now let me show you the next screenshot. This is what I was actually referring to about the huge ABCD pattern. This is all real time, like I was saying. I'm literally analyzing SPY as it's going. So now we can see here. So eventually, SPY did break out. It did hold 382, but it actually rejected VWAP. And this is what I'm talking about. I don't know if I could zoom in, but this is what I was talking about. Look at these candles wick off this 382.5 level, and it never closed below that. So I was talking to our members. I said you gotta wait for that candle to close, and it did close. It closed right above it. Never closed right under. It never closed underneath ever again after this big move up. Right, it never closed above. This is a clear indication that buyers still have control, and there's still, especially with that rising volume. It was just such a good setup, such a good ABCD setup. This was already it was already an inverse head and shoulders, and then this plus a ABCD setup, that's just even more high probability. But let's go back to this screenshot since this is actually real time. So real time, I saw SPY 2 5-minute candles closing above 382.5 and very low volume while it's pullback, right? Pullback has decreasing volume. It's still kind of decent volume, but it's decreasing. That's what we want to pay attention to. Decreasing volume on a pullback most likely the stock is going to continue. Is going to continue as long as the previous breakout had a lot of volume, significant above average volume, and it did. So let me show you guys the next screenshot. So this is basically the ABCD pattern I was talking about, the huge ABCD pattern. I want to make a big emphasis on the huge part, just because we're literally talking about a move, a $4 move in one ABCD pattern from 381 all the way to 385. And I called that. SPY is literally at a little bit less than 383, but I called that. I said SPY is going to 385, mark my words. And then, I'm telling everyone about the ABCD pattern. 385 is what I'm looking for. Let me see the next screenshots. Oh, also a big thing I want to talk about. If we go on SPY, let's just go on the daily chart, right? Look how far we've dropped on SPY just in the last 4 trading days. We've gone from 410 all the way to the bottom of 381, right? So 410 with four consecutive red days, we went from 410 all the way to 481. I was telling myself, SPY it's not gonna go lower than 380. 380, I was gonna size in heavy on SPY calls, but I told myself it's not gonna go below 380. We need a relief bounce. SPY has literally dropped from 410 to 380. We'll just call it 380. So that's a $30 move with no significant pullbacks. And pretty much I said, SPY needs a relief bounce. That's also another big thing. The more things you can add to a trade, the better. The more high probability it is. So we're talking about inverse head and shoulders. We're talking about a huge ABCD pattern. And we're talking about a relief bounce on SPY. Let's see. Oh, perfect. Let me show you guys the next screenshot. This is all real time, like I'm saying. This is actually 12:21 p.m., so 20 minutes after power hour. Whoops. So I said 385 is still my target. Still my target in mind. Also got the 200 MA there on the 5 minute plus pre-market resistance. So that's why I'll tell you guys why 385 was my target. After I seen all this rising volume, all this volume that was still stacked up on SPY, I said, all right, next possible target that I think we can truly hit with this volume and with everything coming in mind, inverse head and shoulder, huge ABCD pattern, relief bounce, everything. I said SPY is hitting 385. Why? Why exactly 385? Well, first of all, I got my little pre-market resistance right here, 385. We'll just call it 385. And as SPY was coming up, let me show you guys this screenshot. This is the picture right here, but I'm just gonna make it bigger for you guys so you can actually see a little bit better. This is all real time, like I'm saying. All these screenshots are real time. This is not me going back in the market after it already closed and telling you guys this, and why it happened. This is all real time. I cannot stress this enough. This is all real time. I saw it real time with my own eyes, and I analyzed. You see this circle that I drew in there? That's 385. This is the 200 MA. Now let me show you guys. After the market's already closed, look at that. Perfect touch to the 200 MA. The 200 MA is the 5 minute. The 200 MA on the 5 minute is such a good indicator that if you don't use it, you should probably add it to your charts. It's a very good indicator. You clearly see why. Look at that. Perfect rejection. Perfect target. I cannot stress enough how perfect this analyzation was. But let me keep going. Let's see. I just kept talking about the 385. Oh, I also told him don't wait exactly till 385 to sell if you are in calls. I mean, that's a $4 move. You gotta be greedy too. Because I'm telling you, people are expecting that 385, right? Don't wait exactly for 385 as sellers will step in. Sellers are stepping in. So with that in mind, people are trying to sell before the sellers can step in. So that's why you see a little bit of pullbacks, a little bit of wicks before it actually goes up to 35 exactly, because people are selling, people are taking profits. I mean, who's not taking profits after a $4 move? Even if you got in right here on the retest of 382.5, which I did tell people to get in on this retest of 385.5. that was my other entry. My first entry here, inverse head and shoulders. Second entry, if you didn't get it, I told him to get 382.5. I told him to get in there. And even if you got in here, you still printed. So, so that's that. That's pretty much my breakdown on the SPY from 381 to 385. I'll explain it in summary without going through all those screenshots, all those pictures. SPY, this is what I saw. I saw an inverse head and shoulders forming at 381. I saw we couldn't make a lower low, and I just seen support being held. So the first entry on calls here. Then we run up. My target on this inverse head and shoulders was 382.5, but I seen volume increasing. I seen us break through. So I said, all right, can we hold this pre-market low of 385 or 382.5? And we did. We never closed back underneath, and we wicked off of it with decreasing volume. So then what happens when it bounced? More volume came in. So I said, all right, what's the next resistance point? 383.5. And what did it do? It broke above, it held, it never closed back above, and it kept going. So for me to sit there an hour before this move even happened and say SPY was going to 385, let me piece it all together. So inverse head and shoulders, huge ABCD pattern, and just a relief bounce on SPY plus the 200 MA, which was right at 385, plus pre-market high. You see all these things that I'm talking about, they all come together, and they just makes the trade even more high probability. This is why I really love this move that we saw today. The only thing that sucks is we were chopping so hard the whole day, so it's just very hard to even get into this with all this chop. But nonetheless, we called it. We called it from the bottom to the literally top. And I said also, get sell, take your profits here because it's gonna reject. It's gonna reject, and I told him that, and it did, and it came down hard. But that's pretty much my summary on the SPY. What I personally saw from 381 all the way to 385, and how I was able to even see that come from that far away. But yeah, hope you guys learned something. Appreciate it if you guys can leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Obviously, this is Hades from Wall Street Bible. If you guys have any questions, don't forget to add me in the chat. You guys can feel free, even in the comments of this video, you can ask me whatever you want. I'll be glad to help you guys. But yeah, thanks for watching. This is Hades from Wall Street Bible. Like I said, you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and I'm out.